Hey, welcome back to the garage, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, today we're going to be removing the fuel pump. You might want to hang around for this one. Alright, well, I'm going to do this a little sooner than I thought because I ended up getting a buyer for the fuel pump. So he needs it and it needs to come out anyway. So we're going to push down on the tab here, pull that connector off. I'm going to get this grommet out of the way too, just to give myself a little bit more room if I need to get in there and do stuff like that. You can see where I trimmed that. So a little bit of dirt. I'm gonna get a rag real quick. I just wet it down with water, wrung it out real good. It's not wet, it's only a little damp. Some people might spray this down with a solvent. I wouldn't want to do that because solvents and plastics don't always work well. I'm just going to wipe it up. And then I have some compressed air. I'm going to hit it with compressed air to make sure all the loose stuff is off. Looks good. So on the fuel line, you'll see this plastic piece. This needs to come out. So you lift up. Kind of hard to do one-handed. There it goes. Now it pops out. So now that should come off. And it's probably going to leak a little fuel. Let me get a little cup. It shouldn't leak too much, but the line in the engine bay is higher up than this line, so some might come out. And I don't want it in the car. I got a rag just in case. Got some paper towels. I got a little catch can here to put this line in if it decides to put more than just a little bit. Now this is basically outside the area where the fuel pump is and the tank. I mean, I can see the outside air, light over this direction, but I still don't want a lot of fumes in here because this access door isn't airtight. Once I get ready to put the seat back on, I'm going to lay down a towel, put the seat down, help keep dust out. I don't presume there's going to be a lot because I used foam, but there is a crack between the door and the frame that, you know, air can move in and out, and it could get a little dusty. You can see it wasn't very dirty as it was. Well, it's a little wet. It didn't get any inside the cab, but it does kind of smell in here. Actually, it smells a lot in here. So if you're doing this and you start feeling a little dizzy, yeah, you should probably get some air in here. The electrical, of course, is turned off. The battery's been long disconnected. So, well, there is a tool to take this ring off with. I don't have it, so I'm going to do what most people do and put a screwdriver on the notch and tap it with a hammer. It only needs to move this metal piece over to this part of the ring, and then the ring will come off, and then the pump should come out. And then I'll just lean this into the fuel tank so it can drain back in. If I lay this down now, it still wants to come out because the line isn't drained. So I'm gonna have to park that someplace while I do that. Actually, it's probably fine right there. So what I'm gonna do, if you see, there's a notch right here, right at the tip of the screwdriver. There's a notch. That's what I'm gonna hit on, that notch. Can't really put it in here because, well, that's the direction you have to go. There's notches all over, so you can just pick one that works and drive the ring in this direction, this way, and it should unlock. So I made sure the tank was as low as I could go without completely draining it. I probably could have ran the fuel pump and completely drained it, but it's down very low. The bucket, this bucket's going to have fuel in it. So once again, we got to have a catch can ready. You can hear it draining out of the bucket. Draining right out the bottom. Right in there. So we don't want to stress the this little metal piece right here. That's the float. We're going to have to clear that. But before we can take that out, here's a line right there we're going to have to disconnect. So that is now sitting in there, which is fine. I got a little bit of gas in there. So I'm going to take some rags, dry this up a little bit, and we'll come back. All right, all the gas is cleaned up, looking pretty dry. A little bit left to do. Now we're going to get the new O-ring and lay it in here and grab the the tube there off the bottom, connect it to the bottom of our new pump after we snake in the fuel level float and start to drop it in there. Then we can connect that line and it just snaps onto the bottom, and we just lower it down in and put the ring on. Alright, so this is a new X2 from Deatschwerks. This is what's going to be going in. It's got twin 340 liter per hour pumps. It comes with the bucket. Nice anodized top hat or top plate there. It's also got a anodized top hat. Pressure relief valve in the bottom. Venturi in the bottom. It was a little bit of a challenge putting together, but not too bad. Their instructions are pretty decent. They did revise the instructions to be a little bit more clear on how to put the pressure relief valve together. Pictures would have been even better. There's a backup ring that needs to go on first, and then the big O-ring, and then the black screen. Well, let's go ahead and put the new O-ring down and put this pump in so we can seal it up. Alright, so I verified there was nothing that got dropped into the tank, and I cleaned the seat for the O-ring, wiped down the O-ring, and made sure that there wasn't any junk on that. And now we're going to put in the new pump. So this is how the pump goes in. The tab, the black tab, goes in the same place as the other pump. And you can tell if you're off, it's not going to want to settle down. I actually had it off the first time and it was sitting over here okay, but this side was riding a little high. So now it's, oops, that's in the way. Now it's doing a lot better. So I can feel the bucket bottom out on the bottom of the tank, and so when I push down like that, I'll be able to get the ring on. So the bucket should be sitting on the bottom of the tank, and in this orientation, the float has the ability to move and do what it has to do. These two screws here are for the float level, and then you have pump 1, pump 2, and the ground for both, feed and return. So these are, it's kind of hard to see. It's number 8 feed, number 6 return, and right now there's nothing in there because I got to put fittings on. And it's dark here already, so I'm going to get this ring on and close this up. I think I'll leave the doors of the car open with the fan on just to get the smell out of the car. It stink. And we're just gonna take the screwdriver and hammer and pop that piece back over here until it stops, and it will ride right over the top of that little ridge and lock it in. Alright, so as you can see, the little ridge on the ring is right in line with the bump, so that's as far as it goes. We get to connect our wiring, which we're not going to be using this one in this install. And the only thing we're going to be using from here is the 2 wires for the level sensor, and I'll have to go into the schematic and find them. Actually, there they are right there. So the heavier gauge wire are obviously the pump. Smaller gauge wire is the level sensor. I just need to look at what color is positive, what color is negative. We're going to pull that out of there. We're going to pull this line out because we won't need it. So that's going to come out underneath the car. And this stays here. I'm not sure where that goes. I'd have to look. but we're not going to do anything with that. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for watching me install that. I got to box up that other pump for the customer and get it out to him tomorrow, so he can enjoy his car. And next video, we're probably going to be wiring this up, and that is going to be a challenge in itself. So thanks for coming by. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.